I know you just put up to the bar, but we close.
Come on, man. You gotta be able to give me a shot, man. Come on.
You look like you need a drink, man, but I hate to tell you this, man. We about to close.
So you mean to tell me all these people out here, they got drinks and they got shots, but I can't get nothing. The bar closed that soon?
Okay, man. I don't know what else to say. I got this shorty half my age at the crib, and I'm trying to get to it. But last call was 10 minutes ago.
You know what? It's alright. Don't even worry about it.
All right. Tell you what. I'm gonna get you one drink. Does it look like you need
one drink? I can do one drink. I can do one drink. Cause I really, yeah.
Hey, man, anything, man. Look like you got a lot on your mind and you need a friend right now. Pour it on me. Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
One of the things I gotta tell you, we are sponsored by the one and only Craftmatic tonight. Why is this? This is called Minecraft. This is some of the things that's incorporated in my show towards the back end because, again, we might talk about different things. I want to make sure somebody get healed from some of the stuff we go to, and that's where he comes in. So what better person than the CEO of Minecraft? Tell us about it, big baby.
What's happening with you, Smooth Jay?
Man, let me tell you, man. I seen you today. I said, yo, I was like in a mixture of not feeling the greatest, and I was like, yo, my boy here. And it automatically sprung me into a hyper mode.
Yes, and we need that hyper mode sometime, you know. So Minecraft is, again, my personal baby. And ultimately what I'm attempting to do is bring mental health to the forefront of mainstream America. That we have typically thought about mental health as people with disabilities, anger management, neurological, psychological problems. But I'm talking about mental health for the strong man. Mental health for the average person who just trying to get life done. Right. There's no seemingly there's no place for people to get fed in their mind unless you go to a church or you're around a bunch of positive people. But if you want to go and develop yourself, you want to go and elevate your mind, there doesn't seem to be a place to go. And so I have created a tool, my first book, it's called Activate Your Mind. And this book is in essence going to be a reference tool that you'll carry with you all day, every day. And so sometimes you may need some strength. Sometimes you may need answers. Sometimes you may need to be a little more productive. Sometimes you may need to woosah and have peace in your mind. Sometimes you need to overcome stress and anxiety. This is a mental tool to help you elevate your mind. It's a mindset creator type tool. And we are so excited about what it can do for humanity, what it can do for young people, even giving us the opportunity to dream again. All right. When it comes right down to it, it just seems like humanity has lost its understanding of what desires can do for their life. That we've so stressed and busy doing day to day and all this other good stuff, we've left our dreams on the table. And without those dreams, we've really lost a connection to our lifeline. Our lifeline is who we are. It's not just the world we live in and what we have to do on a daily basis, but who we are. That's the gravy of life. And we oftentimes don't express who we are. And that's kind of what the show is going to be about tonight. Yes. Being who you are. And your mindset is, your mindset has to be stabilized so that you can be who you are. Because if you're not, you're going to be operating in fear and frustration and worries and doubts, etc. So I'm just trying to strengthen the strong man. I'm trying to strengthen the average person to be their greatest possibility. And it cannot happen without a strong, focused mind. That's right. And so I'm excited about the project. I appreciate the opportunity to express it here today. And I think it's a great time to introduce ourselves. Yes. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. And we just simply want to liberate your minds and souls with a fabulous dialogue. We're going to have a subject that I'm going to propose here in a moment. And we're just going to chop it up on the subject. And as we do, somehow there's some powerful wisdom and some good messages and some real deep understandings that come out of just the discussion. And so As we do, we hope that you can find a place to attach yourself to this conversation.
Yes.
Find out, think through, how can this better me? We're going to have fun.
Oh,
There's no doubt about it, because we always have fun. But this can be somewhat therapeutic because it gives you an opportunity to see kind of a part of your life from just sitting on the living room, just sitting on your couch, or riding in your car. Right. You can hear some ideas that might help you go to the next level, and that's what this is all about.
Okay.
And of course, we always start the show off with a prayer.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, tonight's topic is showing your trueness.
Okay.
Showing your trueness. We just talked about being who you are.
Right.
Showing your trueness. The divine is already working.
Oh, come
Can
on.
you see connection, the synchronicity going on?
I'm trying to find out if they see it.
Let's hand this over to the Lord.
Yes, let's do that.
Heavenly Father, we come into your presence just thanking you for all that you are in our life. You are our strength. You are our comforter. You are our protector. You are all that we need, and you are all that we ever want to be. And we thank you, Lord, for the wisdom and intelligence and understanding that you're going to share with us tonight. Tonight, we're talking about, Lord, showing your trueness.
Yes.
And we're asking, Lord, to help us understand how do we express ourselves in life? Do we show all of ourselves, or do we hold some portion of ourselves back? What are the reasons, the rationales, the understandings behind being who you are and perhaps not being who you are, at least in front of others? Show us, Lord, how to be our greatest.
Yes.
Be here with us tonight to speak this word. Give us the intelligence and wisdom and guide this conversation. We ask all these prayers in Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Ooh, yes.
Once again, Jay, I'm always clawing and scratching in them prayers.
I mean, I heard a lot of things in the prayers.
And there's some part of me that is trying to figure out. So I'm asking God to help me understand.
Right.
Like, do I just be all of who I am all day, every day with other people? Is that the way I should represent myself? Is that the character that I should have as I go through this life? I'm just always kind of stomping on the world with who I am. Right? Almost like, and this is what it kind of sounds like, almost like the world ain't the world without me. I don't think that's the right position to take. Right? And this is one of those parts of the conversation where there becomes this dichotomy. Is that we have to be strong on the inside, but you don't always have to show it on the outside.
Oh, okay.
You see what I mean? We can be real confident on the inside, but sometimes we might come across as meek and humble and maybe relaxed in the environment. Maybe we'll come across as not knowing. And maybe we'll come across as, lighthearted, rather than potentially coming across as, now you don't know what you're talking about. I've been through that situation before. Like, you can always kind of tear down somebody's conversation, especially if it sounds like they don't know what they're talking about. But that's not the trueness that I like to show. I like to show a humble craft. I like to show a person who may be a listener, a person who maybe I may not even know, right? Or even if I do know, I might not let you know that I know.
All right.
Right? I'm gonna hold my cards.
Exactly.
And I think that's important in life, is to hold your cards, right? I remember we were talking about a conversation when you're being at work, and there's a certain job that needs to get done at work, and you know how to get the job done, but you don't tell nobody you know how to get the job done, because you know if you tell them that you know how to get the job done, they're going to put you on the job.
Exactly.
So now you're going to increase your workload because they know you have more skill.
With less pay.
Right. So here's a scenario where I might just hold back. I'm not going to show my true heart. I'm not going to show my true knowledge. I'm not going to show my true experience. And I just think that there's a great place in life where we kind of have to humble ourselves to the world around us, because that's the only way we're going to create connectivity.
I like that.
If we're always on the pedestal, then we're always looking down at the world. That's not where the Lord wants us to be. He doesn't want us to be arrogant. He doesn't want us to be a know-it-all. He doesn't want us to be the kind of person who, when you come around, everybody kind of be quiet because they think you're going to control the conversation or you're going to try to control the environment. That's not where we need to be. Humble and meekness and just having a relaxed spirit and a peaceful spirit is important in showing your trueness. How would you respond to that, Jay?
I want to tell you, man, you're dead on, because one of the things you mentioned and it hit hard with me was you said playing cards.
Cards.
Hold your hand. Well, sometimes your hand is just dealt jacked up. Okay. I play cards enough. I'm talking about spades for you spades players. Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about spades.
All right.
Yeah.
So a lot of times you get them hands and you really ain't got too much of that. You got a lot of low cards. You really ain't got that many spades, and you want to throw it in. All right. In life, you can't just throw your hand in. You got to learn how to play it. And then in playing it, I got to start seeing how other people are moving, and then I can make something happen with this little hand compared to that monster hand that I was hoping for.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And you got to know that ability, because when you do get that good hand, you got to play it just like that small hand.
Right.
For you can maximize what you really are. And that's showing your true talent.
Yes.
Compared to just being happy with the best hand. And then you get the little hand, you get mad, want to throw it in.
Right.
Quit being childish and understand the game.
Understand the game.
And stay in it.
It's not just cards, it's life. You understand the game.
And that's where your trueness shows. Because again, people watch the show and they see us and they think they know us, all right? And we ain't actors, all right? We are performing for you guys because we went through a lot of things. We lived our life.
Right.
But we think about what we're going to bring to this. We have side talk. And then when we get here, we are unscripted. We come from the dome, but we are knowledgeable. Right. And we're going to normally talk about things that we have a little bit more knowledge about than things we don't.
Right.
Or we'll bring somebody in. But I always get the ones to tell me how they know me from the show.
How they know you.
This ain't Denzel Washington. I'm not reading from the
Yeah.
script. And he's a great actor.
Yeah.
Please, I enjoy his movies and a lot of other great actors, but I'm not an actor. And then they be like, well, we know you, Jay. We watched you. We watched you from the first show to the last show. And I'm happy for everybody that subscribed, everybody that watched and shared. But please understand, I have a personal life that's a little different than this show.
A little different than this show.
Yeah.
And that's a very interesting point you make there, Jay, because oftentimes people have judged me about what they see on this show. And it's not to say that we're not being real and true, but I'm probably not going to say everything on my mind on the show because some of it doesn't quite fit the equation. So I'm just delivering a great message and we're just having a great conversation for those of you who are with us.
And we enjoy our time.
Yeah. And so, you might not see the whole truth of me on this show. And I don't think that it's, here again, I may be duplicating the message here, but I just don't think that in any environment it's good to show your cards.
And that's why I bring that up.
I think it's important to label. And what do you gain by just subduing yourself? You're not going to subdue your performance. You're not going to subdue your, maybe you're confident. You're going to just create an environment where if you subdue yourself, I think what one of the benefits is you're going to learn something from your environment. Right? If you walk into a room of people who are talking about putting together a contract, and you might not let them know that you are certified. You might not let them know that you've done this before. You might not let them know that you held the contract that they happen to be talking about, that, you had a portion of that contract on the other side, and they're talking about the contract and they don't even know that you know the contract inside and out. Matter of fact, you know the person who wrote the RFP.
Come on now.
You know what I mean? And not only that, you know the people who will be analyzing the contract. But you're not going to tell them that, right? Because when you hold back, now you learn your position.
Exactly. Or I learned they don't know what they're talking about.
I learned they don't know what they're talking about. So when I get ready to write mine, perhaps, I'm going to be hitting points that they were talking about, but I'm going to be much more knowledgeable about it.
There you go.
right? So when it comes time to perform or write the paper or, perform on the contract, I'm already ahead of the curve.
And I'm not mad at you.
Right?
That's
I'm
right.
already ahead of the curve. You just lose something by letting all of yourself go.
Mhm.
I think you lose the ability to learn. I think you might even lose some people around you.
Oh yeah, the people be looking at you like, man, you think you know it all.
Yeah,
Bro, who
man,
is he?
there's something to be said. Just think about in a normal work environment or a friend environment. I remember many a years, man, holding back because I didn't want to push my friends away,
Right.
making them think that I knew this and knew that.
Mhm.
And as I subdued my spirit, with my knowledge and information, somehow or another, they seem to be more and more on my team.
Oh yeah,
Right?
I can see that.
Now, there are those who will start to fade away as you elevate. And so you start elevating and they're not elevating. Now they
Fall off.
get a little hate up, they start hating on you a little bit. But it ain't that you did something to them. You said
Exactly.
you had to separate and do your thing and without them because they weren't able to operate on that level.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I mean? Showing your trueness.
Ooh.
This is a conversation that in essence is, do you hide yourself or do you show yourself?
Well, let's have some fun with it.
I think you should hide yourself a little bit.
I do too.
Yeah,
But let's have some
Christ
fun with it.
hid himself. Go ahead.
We're gonna look at it in two aspects. We're gonna go with the job aspect and then we're gonna go with relationship aspect.
Okay.
And one of mine is that on the job.
On the job.
I held a lot of different positions in the garbage industry for a very long time. So now I'm working with somebody that's a smaller garbage company. So he's not up to speed to the big corporation.
Okay.
Right? Don't have to be because he don't have to go through the same guidelines.
Right.
So working with him is more fun to me because I got a little bit more room to shuffle.
Yes.
And to guide him into technology. Things that he was doing on paper, we got to bring technology in there. It's very much necessary to stay ahead of the curve. So as I'm doing that, I'm kind of enjoying it because he's not familiar with it, but I'm showing him in a comfortable way of how to embrace some things. But I don't try to overly do it because, again, I want to have his confidence because, again, it is his company. I just don't want to come over and take over everything because, again, people get a little annoyed. Get a little nervous.
Yes.
When somebody's coming into their business that they feel like they know so well.
Yes.
And then you come in with your technology and you take over. I'm not Elon Musk.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not trying to get rid of jobs. I'm trying to make jobs easier for everybody.
Right.
So I incorporated with the drivers, for the drivers have input. And then at that point, we grow together. And that's some of the things I like about my trueness of bringing some things, but also the concept of not bringing it all at one time and making sure everybody's comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Now we're going to play around. We'll go with relationships. Some people watch the show. They think they know me.
They think they know us. Yeah.
They come at me and they have a vision of what I am and who I am and how they picture me to be. And then, because the show, I'm automatically mannish. Okay, this is the word. Hoish. Yeah. And whatnot. Yeah. So they bringing me some negativity. And then they also like some of the things how I bring to the table. So now it's like, me. And now you're going to find out I can be an asshole too. And I don't show that on the show as much.
Right.
So now you be like, well, you ain't the person I thought, because you dreamed up who I was. You didn't take the time to know me. You judge me by shows, but again, I put them out there, so I'm not mad about none of it. So if anybody got their thoughts on me, it's fine.
Right.
Just know I am a different person behind the scenes because I don't show how much I love my family.
Yes.
How much I love my mother and my kids.
Right.
So you wouldn't really know that, but you'll see someone on my shows from time to time, but you really won't know that until you know me. And that's a huge part of me.
That's a very dynamic point. And where my mind has been going to since you were talking is, if you are a celebrity, you cannot show your true self.
Oh my gosh, no. You would have no personal life.
And I think there's something to learn from that equation for all of us, because if you say the wrong thing, I was watching Empire the other night, and this young lady said something about being pro-life, and she was just chopping it up on the screen.
Right.
And she just happened to talk about being pro-life, and I think something had happened in her life where, you know, she needed to be aware of it and make a decision on it. And so now all of a sudden her fans are like downplaying her. You know, they throw mud, they turn on her, right? Because she expressed her true feelings on a subject, and when people don't like it, now they're mad with her. And it could have potentially ruined her career. So you have to hold back. You cannot go into any environment and tell people, no, I'm not really a Trump fan. You know what I'm saying? All y'all doing Trump stuff, and I ain't participating in that. And you can't go in saying those kind of things. You have to go in
negative backlash,
and that's why we don't talk about politics and religion at work.
Good reason. Sometimes we don't need to talk about it to a lot of strangers either.
We don't need to talk about it with people who, you know, are not in our circle or like-minded, because they don't understand. And you all may come from two completely different worlds, and so you're seeing the world differently, and you have different needs, and you have different expectations for your leaders and your politicians, etc. But you shouldn't be discussing that with strange people. And I've been in many scenarios where, you know, everything is copacetic, and me and my customer or me and my new friend are becoming friends and talking, etc. And then something will come up on one of those testy subjects, maybe how I see God or how I see politics. And the next thing you know, we might be in a heated discussion to the point where, like, okay, I can't even talk to you no more because you don't believe in God. You know what I mean? So, you know, here again, I began in that situation that the truth begins to be revealed, that maybe you're a little bit of a racist.
What?
Maybe you a political hater. You know, maybe you hate on people who are rich. Maybe you, maybe you just a slacker and you just don't want to see nobody excel, right? Here's a point that's coming to mind, and I don't want to cross-pollinate this thing.
What you got?
But the real you is always seen by the people outside of you.
Oh my goodness, yes.
You cannot hide the fact that you talk too much. You cannot hide the fact that you like to gossip.
I'm gonna tell you right
now.
You
cannot hide those
dagger.
things.
I felt that he's talking too much. I felt the dagger.
So I'm in a person's office the other day, and this person wants to talk to me about one of the other salespeople, and he was talking about him kind of dusty, kind of bad, right? So I thought to myself, I bet you when I walk out of this room, you're going to talk to the next person about me.
Same way.
So I see that you are a manipulator. I see that you will talk about people behind their backs. And so now your trueness can't be hidden. Now I have to operate in a space where keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
But keep limited information from
limited
him.
Information.
Because he is
what I have realized about this person is they misuse information.
Well, they ain't doing.
They may take information from one situation and go and whisper in the boss's ear. Oh, he ain't even followed through with his customer. He ain't even following through. He don't whisper that in the boss's ear. That ain't never gonna come out unless the boss start treating me a certain way.
Exactly.
Or see it for himself. He's a backstabber, and so now I see it, and because I see it, that I have to operate in that space, and so he truly can never experience my trueness.
No. That's a true hater.
How can I express trueness to somebody who's not true?
Oh my God.
How can I express caring for people who aren't caring? How can I express respect for people sometimes who don't deserve to be respected? Right? And so there again, I have to subdue myself. Here's a place where we have to subdue ourselves.
I'm listening.
If somebody says something foul to you, you oftentimes want to strike back. You oftentimes want to get mad and say, hey, who you think you're talking to? You know what I'm saying? Or if the waitress or waiter don't do what you say, you oftentimes gotta, voice your opinion and make yourself heard. You don't. You don't have to be heard. You think you have to be heard. The only thing you're doing is voicing your opinion to somebody who didn't give you what you wanted, on purpose or not on purpose, they didn't give you what you wanted. You don't have to be hurt. You just can leave and never have to come back to that restaurant.
Right.
You can leave and never have to come back to that space. You can leave the argument that you had with your boss and you change your mind about the whole environment, but you don't have to tell them you change your mind. No. You don't have to tell them, oh, you know what? I think I need to find me another job. He's gonna be, oh, you trying to find another job? I'll replace you tomorrow.
Right, yes,
right? How about I'm gonna fire you before you get a chance to resign?
Exactly.
You don't want to be sharing that. Popping off at the mouth hinders your ability to maintain your power position, right?
Let me give you a good example.
Go ahead, man.
Because you go to nice restaurants and eat from time to time. So do I.
Nice restaurants, I love them.
And sometimes our waitress is not the best.
Yes.
Attitude, not coming over directly, getting our orders mixed up. And, but I had this occasion happen to me, but the food was good.
The food was good, yes.
I mean, her service was horrible.
Yes.
But the food was good.
Yeah.
So I asked for her manager.
Okay.
So the manager came over and she was standing next to him. Now, I discussed the terrible waitress that I had, but I had a great experience with the food.
Right.
So he's like, yo, I'll just comp your meals. I said, no, sir. I'm willing to pay my way.
Yeah.
The food I ate, I enjoyed.
Yeah.
But I cannot pay tips to a person that did not do me right.
Right.
So I will pay for the meal, but please understand why I'm not tipping.
Right.
And if this keeps up, I'm pretty sure your services probably will be hindered by people with that kind of attitude.
Yeah.
And again, she had an attitude right then. And she tried to say, well, I wasn't even supposed to have this table, something that I have no control over.
Right.
And the manager had to check her right then and there.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, we short-handed, but this is not how you treat the customer.
Yes.
So then they had to have their side conversation. And I paid and then I left. Now, I almost felt like I didn't want to go back again because of her. But the food was good enough that I realized, let me tell the manager to see if he can at least understand what the issue is.
Right.
Because they don't always get that.
Right.
They just get a nasty corporate email down about the waitress, which then he might not know which waitress because they're shorthanded. So he might not do a lot about it. And now the business is going down.
Yes.
And I've been in that position of management knowing that I've been faced with a lot of adversity over people and their conduct.
Yes.
And believe me, you have to address it kind of quickly, especially in that environment.
Yeah.
Because it will lead to a demise.
It can lead to a demise in your business, and it's kind of behind your back
all day.
You know what I'm saying? It's your business being torn down, but you're not there to see it or stop it, etc. Here's the point that I just heard Jay make, and we've been talking about subduing oneself, right? We're talking today about showing your trueness, and sometimes you have to, hold back a little bit so you don't upset the environment. But there are other times where you need to speak out.
Say it.
There are other times where you need to establish yourself as a stronghold in this room. And hey, I'm not, I've had people, for example, they say, just like you, Jay, they say, I like Nissan. Nissan's a good place. But when I went down there, I met a bad salesman. And the bad salesman tried to, tell me lies and misrepresent and hurt me and take advantage of me. And I'm not going to stop liking Nissan because of a bad salesperson. You see what I mean?
Right.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and speak up. I'm going to go and say, look, I don't want you as a salesperson anymore. Give me your manager. It's time for me to get another salesperson so I can feel like I'm being treated fairly. That sometimes you have to stand up in your trueness in order to protect yourself. Right? And nobody's going to protect you but you. And in any scenario under the sun, there comes a time where you have to stand up for yourself. Showing your trueness means standing up for yourself in some cases, protecting yourself, making your presence known. And there's all kinds of scenarios where we can think about situation where we need to protect ourselves. If somebody mischarged you on the receipt, hey, I want my money back. Or if especially a lot of these convenience stores here in Atlanta, Georgia, you'll go up and the drink supposed to be $1.49 and they charge you $2.49 and think they're gonna get away with that extra dollar. You know what I mean? You got to stand up and you have to speak up for yourself. If the environment that you work in, if there's something unsafe, you have to speak up.
Right.
Hey, I'm not doing that job. That machine right there might might go south on me, right? If the machine goes south, I'm gonna fall into the hole and hurt myself. No. We're not doing that. We need to put some safeguards on these machines.
Right.
Everybody need to be trained. We need new policies. And I'm not saying this, boss man, because I want to start a ruckus or because I want to get us behind in production. I'm saying this because I'm trying to save our lives. I'm trying to keep injuries down. That it's time for somebody to speak up, man.
Okay.
And y'all putting us in a situation where we might get hurt, and y'all don't seem to care. And so, at a certain point, check this out. At a certain point, I'm even sacrificing myself for the purpose of standing up for myself.
Yeah.
Because when you start speaking up, you might get pushed out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But somebody's got to speak up. Right? When Martin Luther King was doing all those marches, he said, well, at a certain point, somebody might try to assassinate me. But I got to go deliver this message. I got to go on this march. I got to go and walk through these upset police officers, with my people, and they might beat us up. They might put us in jail. They might hurt us. But I got to show my trueness in this one. And I got to stand up and be a champion on this one.
I tell you all day long, man, there's been people that said different things to me. And sometimes you don't want to say anything because when it comes to this show, people get their own opinions. Yeah. And I really feel like they have a right to their opinion. I really don't mind. Yeah. But you get me in a room and somebody say something that does not really suit me or fit me or feel like it's against, even if they want to attack you, which has hardly ever happened. But I ain't like how Kraft came off on this and that. And there's going to be times I'm going to stand up and be like, yo, listen, you might not, but you don't really know him.
Right.
And I'm going to stand up because I know your integrity.
Right.
I know what you really stand for. And I know how you sacrifice and come. This person just watched that show, heard one show and heard something that they didn't like. And all of a sudden they formed an opinion of you. And they thought they had the right to tell me because, hey, it's your show. Just understand, that's my co-host and that's my brother. Right. So when you speak, just speak like I didn't really like, and I'm fine with that's your opinion. But when you start talking about like you personally know him, I'm going to check you because that is my boy. And one thing I'm going to do is stand for my boy. And I'm not going to let somebody defame my boy in my face, but they can go back and tell somebody else, I told Jay about him and I told all. No. You can voice your opinion. I probably won't say too much because you have that right. But when you start acting like you know my boy and you want to start tearing him down, and I already know as a character, he has a great one. And a lot of people that do this is just running their mouth.
Haters.
And I'm the kind of person I gotta check a hater because I cannot let this go further because other people in the room automatically gravitate to hear why I'm defending.
Yes.
Because most people just let them talk because you're not going to defame him in my presence. Yeah. Because we work hard to develop this for somebody to tear it down and then to me be rude about it in my face. Right. Now you can do comments and I can see your little comments, but don't ever feel like you can just walk up on me and do things of this nature because I have a very small circle. It seems like it's really big, but it's really small when it comes to my family. And then you come from my family, I'm going to stand strong.
I'm going to stand up.
Right? Because again, that's what I'm built for.
Yeah. I love what you brought there, Jay. You got to stand up for your friends and family.
Yes.
There's hundreds of examples, but if your family members in the hospital and they ain't getting care, hey, nurse, hey, you need to hey, this thing ain't working right. You got to stand up for your family members. If the children come home talk about somebody's bullying them, or the teacher didn't give them a fair opportunity to answer the question and they got in trouble, or whatever, the parent go down there and defend their children. That's that's a part of showing your trueness, right? I'm going to stand up for what is right. If you are a parent and you're dropping your child off to school and you see the crosswalk guard over there playing and watch cartoons or talking to not watching the kids, you got to stand up and be a leader, right? Protecting the environment is a part of showing your trueness. And sometimes there is a situation or circumstance where it's necessary for you to be bold. Right? I want you to be bold in life sometimes.
I'm going to give you a bold one. I think you might have heard this story before. Go ahead. I'm driving in my big truck, and I'm driving this lady's going across the street, and she's in a crosswalk, but she's moving very slowly. And she's having difficulty. I'm on a very I like to say congested road. I was on Fulton Industrial.
Okay.
So when I turned on Fulton Industrial, she was there, and that's like a area that's not the greatest businesses, but in like low end, you see the people around there. A lot of things are closed. So when she's walking across the scene, she had a lot of difficulties, and she's walking. I could see the lights change, it's turning green. At that point, I pulled my air brakes on my truck, got out, and I consistently walked her on. There was a police car right over there in front of me.
Yeah.
Did not turn his lights on to help or anything. He knew she was in the right of way because she was in the walkway, so he didn't have to.
Right.
But no one ever cared to assist.
Right.
All right. Just knowing that person made it across. And I promise you, as I walk back, I see thumbs up from other truckers, because all of them sat there and they put their hazards on.
Yeah.
We got to work within unity.
Yes.
But a lot of time we don't want to take the time to, because I don't know that person. You can see that person wasn't in great health and they was just trying to make it across the street. All I did was with anybody that got any compassion for humans is to make sure they make it across, because ain't nobody in that big of a damn hurry to finish their job. You at your job or going to your job. If you was already late, you're just going to be a little later. But we don't always got to fuss. We're held up. There's accidents that happen on the road all the time. And you want to fuss about, man, this held me up. You don't know somebody could have died in that accident.
Let me tell you something, Jay. Woo! You hit some profound points there. And here's what came to my mind, kind of summarizing it, that we have to show compassion for our fellow brothers and sisters. And I don't know what that means to you. I don't know what, but sometimes, especially you end up in a situation where somebody's telling you that, they hurting, they in a bad situation, or they just lost somebody. We should encourage those people. We should find loving words to them. We should pray over them. We should comfort them. We should protect the lady at the crosswalk. We should open doors for the ladies. We should, we should be gentlemen at all costs. I'm just trying to express this part of us that humanity needs. Mm-hmm. They need our loving touch on things. When your employee does something wrong, they don't need you to scream at them. They don't need you to fuss at them. They need you to convey the message with love, right? And even though that may not be your truth, because you really want to cuss them out and fire them, but you got to find a way to be loving to humanity, loving and caring to others. They may be going through something where they just can't get it right now. Or they may be going through something where they were not on focus or not on point. Right. Show some care, show some compassion, show some empathy for other people. This is part of being your true self, because if there's a loving person in you, it wants to come out. If you are a loving person, you want to love and to take care of others. Now, sometimes we don't love, and sometimes we don't give money to the guy at the convenience store, because if I give money to him, I know the next time I come to this convenience store, he's going to be asking me for some more. And I don't want to start some nonsense, so I don't love up on it, But compassion and empathy and caring for others is very, very important. And I think that's a part of, we're all beginning to express and show our the truth of who we are. And who we are loving beings.
Yes. We
are beautiful on the inside, and we are beautiful on the outside, regardless of your shape. We are, this is a strange language, but I want you to hear what I'm about to say. Okay. We are already perfect, whole, and complete. All we have to do is acknowledge it and see it, and allow ourselves to be whole and complete. If you're always looking at yourself, looking down on yourself, I mess up and I didn't get my education and I don't make enough money and I ain't got no special loved one in my life, and negative, right? That's a fallacy of the true self. The true self is always perfect, whole, and complete. If you are a child of God, you already have all the good gifts of the Spirit. But sometimes we look at the glass half empty, and therefore the glass becomes half empty. But I'm encouraging you to look at the glass half full over yourself, because the trueness of who you are is you are a powerful individual. You are beautiful. You are loving.
Mm.
You are productive.
Mm.
If you're living life, you can't live life unproductive. You could probably do more,
Right.
but you can't look at your life and say, I'm doing nothing. Because if you speak that over your life, you just spoke that over your future.
There you go.
Right? So you got to find a way to love on the true self that you are, the true self inside of each of us. We're all beautiful.
Mm.
We're all powerful. We're all capable. Okay. But you can't allow that to be subdued
Right.
by what's going on out here. Right?
Okay.
I'm not gonna feel bad about myself when I tried hard and failed.
Mm.
Right? I'm gonna say I'm a trier.
Right.
I go hard in the paint. I don't care how many times I don't fail. I still get up and I fight every day. And I'm going to protect the love and the care of that spirit within me. I'm going to keep nurturing that strong spirit. I'm not going to tear it down, right? We're talking about showing your true self. Sometimes there's a need to protect and serve and love on the true self. I need to take care of myself, right? Taking care of oneself is it's got to be the greatest task of life. Taking care of yourself, taking care of your feelings, taking care of your body, taking care of your mind, taking care of your relationships, taking care of your house and cleanliness and hygiene, all of that. I mean, we're not talking about the false self. We're talking about the true self, and the true self needs to tend to the simple things of life. The true self needs to tend to the necessary things of life. The true self needs to tend to the positivity of the mind and not the negativity of the mind, right? I don't know where I'm going. And
no, you killed that.
Yeah.
You mean where you going?
Yeah.
But we're going to the end.
Yeah.
You did that.
Yeah.
That's the way you always want to make sure the back end that they receive it.
Yeah.
That's trueness.
Yes.
And that's what you gave.
Yes.
There's no more we can say.
Listen. The notion behind what I was just saying is believe in yourself regardless if anybody else believes in you.
Yes.
And speak life to yourself whether anybody else speak life to you or not. Have a sense of positivity and positive expectation about your life regardless of whether anybody else does, right? Don't let other people's expectations become your reality. I want you to exceed the expectations, especially of those haters that are around you. And there are a lot of them. The world is filled with haters, and I have empathy for them because they just don't know that they can do greatness too. And so because they don't believe in their own greatness, they have a tendency to hate on us who are trying to do greatness, right? But I'm not going to let them get on the inside of my spirit. I'm going to maintain my wholeness and my completeness, and I'm going to speak life and love and powerful and peace to myself because I am whole and complete regardless of the outcome, regardless of the effect, regardless of what it looks like to the world, regardless of what it looks like to me. I'm still a child of God, and no matter what, I have unlimited potential, and I'm going to continue to live like I have that potential in spite of the appearance of things. I'm a success regardless of how it looks. I'm a millionaire regardless of how much money in my account. I'm strong regardless of how my size and how small I am. I'm not worried about none of that. I'm a giant inside, and that's who we need to be. We need to be the giant inside and live a giant life, right? Be giant on the inside and live a giant life. Sometimes that means taking major risks. Sometimes that means maybe holding back a little bit so you can get a little extra savings and go hard in the paint. But go hard in the paint. Life is meant for you to achieve a lot. Life is meant for you to be successful. Life is meant for you to have a lot of fun. Life is meant for you to have a lot of money. Life is meant for you to be happy. Life is meant for you to be filled with peace. Life is meant for it to be beautiful, whole, and complete, all of it. But with the wrong mindset, you won't see the truth in yourself, the true self, the beautiful, powerful person that you are. And I think that's a great way to close our show.
It is. If no one knows, this man has done so much for me. And being my best friend, being there for me, being a great co-host, and also mine. And when it comes to my mind, he's one of the ones that help me focus. So I have a check in my wallet because of him.
Me too, Jay.
And I wrote, and I normally wouldn't tell nobody, too much of this, but it was a nice amount.
I got 49 million on my check.
I only did 10. I did 10
I got a
million
$49 million check
out of my business account.
Right.
Now, one thing I can tell you, I can't cash it right now.
But it's gonna be a time.
But I still got it going.
Yes, sir.
It's still growing.
We're gonna sign the back of that with the account number and drop it in there.
And gonna have it. You know why? Because you claimed it,
right.
You wrote it, and you believe in it.
Believe in
and
it.
You own it.
And you know what that's about, Jay, as we close? What that's about is I believe in the true self's future. I believe that I'm headed for greatness. I believe that I'm headed for wealth. I believe that I'm headed for a life of castles and miracles and awestruck living and the finest linen and the finest hotels and the finest traveling and the finest food. I believe in myself. I have to pour that in before it can come out.
Come on now.
Woo! Let's get out of here with that, man.
Man,
listen, this has been Bar Talk with Jay.
Yes.
My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay. And we want to thank you folks for being here with us tonight. This is just our opportunity to be leaders in our own community. And we hope you have enjoyed the show. We hope you have grown inside in a certain way by hearing some of these ideas and agreeing with them and making some decisions to be more powerful and more positive in your own life. Right. Never forget, folks, that we are here every Thursday from 7 to 8, Facebook Live. Like, share, subscribe, come back, bring your friends and family. I just don't know anywhere, Jay, that's having this much fun and talking this much wisdom. Come on now. That's what we do here at Bar Talk with Jay. And never, ever forget, folks, that the only reason we do this is because we love you and we appreciate you. And with that, we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk